table earlier and told me about that you guys have a shawarma Nazi here. So there's like in every town,
everyone's got one.
A Nazi or something. So it spawned this whole.
You got to collect them all together. You have your own little super team.
Well, I got to go traveling around and like visit their restaurants.
That could be your show.
See who's
your show could be visiting every town's
something Nazi.
Something Nazi. That I don't know how it would go if you pitched it that way, but well, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So outside of that, I know we'll get back to that. I'm sure people have questions. We'll get to that. What has been your favorite role though outside of playing the suit Nazi?
Actually, my two favorite things I've ever done are actually stage.
Okay.
I love the film and TV that I've done, but there's a play called Nuts, which Barbara Streisand made into a movie, but you can't tell what my character is like in the movie because it's a play, and it's a very tight little courtroom drama play, and it's really, really good. And the character I played is the lead character's defense attorney, and in the play, he's this very high-powered criminal lawyer who's representing her on a mental competency hearing in the hospital. So he's like a shark in these small waters, but he pretends to not really know what he's doing, and that way he gets all the witnesses off guard and then just nails them one right after the other. And it was so much fun. I think everybody secretly wants to be a lawyer, but the kind that you see on TV movies, because in real life it's really boring to watch a lawyer build a case.
Throw stuff.
So you got up this morning, and did you have coffee? Yes. Cream, sugar. They literally have to build a reality out of every witness. But in this particular case, it was really amazing because I had been studying on how to be a lawyer, and the one main thing that stuck out at me was a lawyer told me that a good lawyer never asks a question they already don't know the answer to. And I had been in a little car situation probably a couple of years before the play. I had this Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, and it was parked on the street. And if anybody's ever had one or seen one, the nose of it is kind of round, and it goes out past the bumper. So most Carmen Ghias at some point will have a flat nose. And one night I came out from a party, and my car, the nose was all smashed in, and there was a Jeep in front of me, a green Jeep, and there was green paint all over the front of my car. And the Jeep had Pennsylvania plates. So I knew someone that worked at the Van Nuys Police Department. I had them run the plates, found out who the guy was, took him to small claims court. He didn't show up, and I won the case, but I had no contact with the guy. So a little while later, he appealed the case to small claims court, and he did show up, and I won it again, but he still didn't pay me anything. And I had two estimates. One was like 400 and one was 800. And so eventually I got the car fixed, and I eventually sold the car. And so now I'm doing this play, and I get a summons to Superior Court. His insurance company now was trying to sue me.
Wow.
Even though they had never paid me anything, and I didn't even have the car anymore. But I looked through my files, and I still had the lower estimate. It was like $400 and something. And so I decided I need to go to court because I'm opening this weekend in Nuts, and I gotta see if I can really do this, And it was a perfect situation because, as I said, the guy was from Philadelphia. And so I go into the court, and the first thing that happens is they present a witness, an eyewitness that I had never heard of before. And then coincidentally, as soon as the guy opened his mouth, I knew something was going on because he had a really heavy Philly accent. And I'm thinking, okay, what is going on? So the guy claimed to have been walking his dog, and it was a cul-de-sac where we were parked, walking his dog that night, and he saw a dark blue Camaro come whipping around the corner, hit my car on the driver's side, and drove it into the Jeep. Now, I knew, I had an estimate, and I knew there was no damage to the driver's side of my car. So I knew all I had to do was like walk this guy down the garden path and just have all kinds of fun with him and actually play the character I was playing in this play. So, when it came my turn to examine the guy, I'm going like, so you were walking your dog, it was at night, and he goes, yeah, and I said, were there street lights? And he goes, oh yeah, and I said, oh, so it was well lit. And he goes, yeah, and I said, so how's your vision? And he goes, 20/20, and I said, so you have really good vision, the street was really well lit, and was your dog distracting you or anything? And he goes, no, he's a really well-behaved dog, really easy to walk. And I said, oh, so you were undistracted, well lit, you got 20/20 vision, and so this dark blue Camaro comes around the corner, and he goes, yeah, and I said, and it hit my car where? And he goes, in the driver's door. So I said, so it smashed in the driver's door hard enough to drive it into the car in front. And he said, yeah. And I said, and then it bounced back, and he goes, yeah. And I said, oh, that's really fascinating. And I could have gone on forever, but at that point I just said to the judge, I said, Your Honor, if you'll refer to the estimate that I gave you as Exhibit A, there's no damage to the driver's door. And the judge looks at the estimate and he just goes, and he awarded me the case. And I swear, I have to stand up to imitate the insurance company lawyer who then met me out in the hallway to get my address so they could send me the check. And he wouldn't look at me in the eye, he was just going like this. So, I need to get an address from you to have to send you a check for the estimate. It makes you feel any better, man. I'm playing a lawyer and a playwright. But it was funny. And so, of course, I went into opening weekend just feeling like the greatest lawyer in town. And it was really fun because this guy was not a good guy. He was doing it for the money, and he nailed these witnesses, and he was just a fun character to play. But when Barbra Streisand made a movie out of it, and if I ever meet her, I'll ask her, because I can see no logic by this, but she cast Richard Dreyfuss in the part, which, the way the play was written, he would have killed this part. I mean, this was just his type of thing. Only she had changed him from this high-powered, kind of somewhat evil defense attorney to a poor, underpaid, family man, public defender.
That's a big change.
Big change. So if you ever see the movie, I mean, of course he's as usual brilliant as Richard Dreyfuss, but it's like the part has no meat in it, He just walks through it because there's nothing fun to play for him. And it's a shame because, the part of the play. So that was, without a doubt, the favorite part I ever played. And then the other one is, I got to tour on and off for about 3 years. We did about 45 cities with Neil Simon's female version of The Odd Couple, and it was starring Barbara Eden. She was our figurehead. She played Florence, who's the Felix character. So all the men in the play are women, and the two women in The Odd Couple, the Pigeon Sisters, are now the Costazuela brothers from Barcelona. And this guy David Castro and I got to do those parts. And first of all, Neil Simon, it was foolproof because they lisp. So even if your timing was off, even if you weren't a funny guy, as long as you're talking like this, people will laugh.
This is true.
So we were like comic relief in a comedy, and it was just so much fun. And we played to like big civic centers, like 3,500 seat houses and stuff. So it was sort of like being an acting gypsy, traveling around the country, having fun, doing this comedy. So that was like the second favorite thing I've ever done.
Let me open it up. If anybody has a question, raise